She's a Mona Lisa. Everyone's lining up to see her.
Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be doing a swatch of my entire stationery collection. I decided to do so because I've amassed quite a bit of a stationery collection, so I thought that it would be time for me to do a swatch of my entire stationery collection. So the first thing that I'll be swatching are my pens, of course. So I'm starting off with my Sakura Pigma Micron pens, and this came in a set of 8 and the nib sizes are as follows, and it comes with a graphic pen which is the size 1 nib, as well as a brush pen which I'll be swatching in a later video. So the pens that I use most often are the 03 and the 02 nib, but I really love the 005 nib for really fine detailing, like making shadows and doing really light strokes. So those are really great. I highly recommend buying this pen. Next up, I have the Uniball Signal pens. I have the 0.38 black Uniball Signal pen, and I use this all the time. Not so much bullet journaling, but I use it extensively for school. So the next thing that I'll be swatching are my Muji pens, and these are my favorite as well. I know that I've been saying it for the past 3 pens, but I feel like all these pens all kind of fulfill different purposes, and my black Muji pen comes in a 0.5mm tip, and I use it all the time for my bullet journaling. So the next thing that we have are the Crayola super tips. I'm pretty sure all of you guys have heard of them. So I got the pack of 50, and I must say that I don't use these markers too often because firstly there are a lot of colors and they're all very vibrant colors, so sometimes I prefer to err on the side of a more muted neutral palette rather than the vibrant colors that the super tips have. However, with that being said, I think that these markers are still really nice and they're really versatile as they are able to be used for coloring surfaces as well as for full lettering, which I think is really nice. However, one thing that I noticed about these Crayola super tips are that some of the colors are really quite similar. It almost seems like they are kind of really close duplicates of each other, so that's something to take note of if you guys are interested in buying these. So anyway, I also numbered these markers using a brown Sharpie and then numbering it accordingly on my bullet journal, just so that there'll be easier reference for me just to remember which marker is which. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, next up I am moving on to my brush pens. So the first of my brush pens are the Zebra Mount Liner brush pens, and I just bought the pastel set as well. So I started off with the darker colors. I love those so much. I'm just very pleased with the selection of shades that Zebra Mount Liners tend to offer. So I prefer to get the Zebra Mount Liners brush pens as compared to the highlighters, since they can double up as highlighters anyway, and you know, I'm all about saving that money I guess. Now I'm moving on to the Miscellaneous brush pens. So the first one that I have is the Pentel Fude Touch, and I really love these brush pens. I think that you really need to get this. It is so easy to write with, and it is a kind of medium tip brush, so it allows for really good control, especially if you're new to lettering and would require something that has a little bit more resistance as compared to a Tombow brush pen, for example. And then the next set of brush pens that I have are from Tombow, and I just got them as a set as well. So it came as a hard tip, a soft tip, as well as a dual tip, which consists of a black brush pen on one side and a grey brush pen on the other side. Next up, I just have the really extra brush pens, which I only have like one of. This is the Zebra brush pen. I think it's the first brush pen that I ever got, and I like it, but I've kind of stopped using it after I've gotten the Tombow Fude no Suki brush pens. The next pen that I have is the Sakura Brush Pen, although I don't use it very often. I think that it really gives off the feel of a watercolor, kind of Chinese calligraphy feel. And next, I have the outline sticks. I decided to get those because I was super intrigued by the packaging. I think it looks so cool how they come in a kind of Lego form, so I decided to get them just to try it out. One thing that I found out is that the brush tips kind of fray quite easily, and the brush tips are already quite big to begin with, so I think this results in really large lettering, so that's something to take note of if you guys would prefer brush pens that allow for smaller, more fine lettering. And the last brush pen that I have is from Koi, and I think this is a very good alternative to the Tombow Duo brush pens. And now moving on to the Tombow Duo brush pens, which I kind of have a lot of now. If you guys have seen my old videos, you would know that I use these Tombow Duo brush pens all the time in all of my Plan With Me spreads. So these guys are a staple for me. I love the array of colors that they offer. I just think that these brush pens are really good to have. I wrote the corresponding numbers on the right hand side of the swatches, and this is so that I'll be able to have a quick reference in the future when I'm wanting to buy new Tombow brush pens and I'm not sure if I've already gotten them. This is to avoid any duplicates. It already happened to me once, so hopefully it doesn't happen again. So now moving on to highlighters. This is something that I don't really have that much of. As you can tell, I only have 7 highlighters, which is kind of sad, but at the same time I don't really use highlighters that much. Moving on to paint markers, and this is something that I'm super excited about. So the first set of paint markers I have are from Posca, and I really like how the Posca paint pens look like. I decided to get the thicker tip ones. They are super vibrant and really nice. And now for the part that I'm most excited about is the Archer & Olive Acrylograph pens. I bought the Awakening pack, which is the 0.7mm tip. So opening up, you can see it's just a set of instructions on the right hand side, and on the left side is a blending palette. So I've actually seen these acrylograph pens all over YouTube as well as Instagram, and I've been itching to buy one set for myself as well, but I kind of refrained from doing so. But when Archer & Olive released their spring collection, I just had to go and check it out, and when I saw the acrylograph palettes that came with their spring collection, I just had to get one for myself. So this is just how the pen looks like close up. So it has a very simple design on the body and has the Archer & Olive emblem on the pen cover. It also comes with a blending pen. So to activate the pens, all you have to do is just give it a good shake and then press down until the ink flows to the tip. And I realize now on hindsight that I was pressing way too hard. I don't think it should be pressed this hard, and I kind of regret doing it. But anyway, here are how they look like on paper, and it also comes with a silver colored pen as well, which I kind of screamed to myself when I saw it. The difference between this acrylograph versus the Uniball Signal silver pen is that it has a more subtle sheen to it as compared to the Uniball Signal pen, which kind of has a more glittery look to it. I kind of prefer the Archer & Olive acrylograph pen as compared to the Uniball Signal silver pen because it just seems more refined. I don't know how else to explain it, but yeah, I think I'll be definitely using it very extensively. So these are how all of them look like, and I love all of these colors. I can already see myself using these acrylographs so much. So now I'm just doing a white pen comparison. So I just used the Tombow brush pen as the base, and then I'm using the acrylograph on the left hand side, followed by the Jelly Roll size 10 in the middle, and on the right hand side is the Uniball Signal white pen. And I must say that the Jelly Roll kind of performed the best. I was kind of disappointed with the acrylograph because I thought that it would be a little more opaque. It could be that I didn't activate it well enough, but I'm really not sure. Now I'll be doing a swatch of my one washi tape. Just kidding, I have more. I'm just doing a swatch of all my solid washi tape colors, and they're really good for layering on top of one another, and I especially love my Greek washi tapes, and these are the guys that I use so often, almost way too often in my bullet journal. I especially use the white and black very often, and I just love how versatile they are. And now moving on, I'm just doing a swatch of all my pattern washi tapes, and I really like the leaves one. I do use them quite often, and I especially love the thicker washi tapes, or in this case a normal size washi tape, and I think they look super cute. I love the Sakura as well as lamp washi tapes. I just love how they look. I got these washi tapes and they are relatively new. I got them from Daiso and they are super good quality. Lastly, I have my super thick washi tapes, and I really love these washi tapes. And that's the end of my little swatch. It allows for much greater ease in choosing a palette when doing a bullet journal spread. So I hope that you guys liked it, and if you did, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!